Hi, my name is Jill Young, and I spent my internship for the fall semester at NCR Corporation, a global retail technology company, and specifically with NCR Foundation, which is the charitable arm of the company. My focus was on a project called Sprint for Cancer, which is an annual 5K, 10K race designed to raise awareness of pediatric cancer in the Atlanta community and to raise money for Children's Healthcare of Atlanta's cancer program. The mission of Sprint for Cancer is to provide NCR employees and Atlanta community members with meaningful opportunities to support Children's Healthcare of Atlanta and their pediatric program by running, helping, or giving to the annual Sprint for Cancer race. The race is actually 10 years old and was founded by a company called Radiant Systems, who NCR acquired in 2011. NCR's mission with Sprint for Cancer is to provide opportunities for employees under three different buckets. The first one is run, which means to participate in the race. The race is both walker and runner friendly. Help, which means to volunteer to support the race, which is very important because the race is totally managed by NCR employees without any external help. Or give, which means to donate or raise funds for the race. My first objective was to create and implement a strategy for Sprint for Cancer as it enters into its second decade and provide more leadership and accountability with the race. I was able to form a steering committee of leaders across NCR who had skills and a passion for ensuring that the race continued on and raised to the next level in terms of sponsorship dollars and participation. We set up different targets, including budgeting targets, to ensure that the race was as profitable as possible and we could give the largest donation possible to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. And that we also set participation and volunteer targets to ensure that the race was growing each year. I created a scorecard reporting system under the three themes I mentioned earlier: run, help, and give, to ensure that each of the owners had accountability, with the idea that once a month the team would meet and measure results against our goals. In the run category, our goal for 2013 is to have 2,000 participants either walk or run the race. That's quite a jump from the maximum level of 1,200 participants that was reached in 2012. We want to have 200 people volunteer, which is double the volunteers that we've had in the past, in order to really create a positive experience for the people participating in the race. And our goal for a donation is $150,000 that will go directly to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. My second objective was to apply for a $50,000 grant through the NCR Foundation that would be given to the race. That $50,000 grant is a subset of the $150,000 I just mentioned. This opportunity was great to allow me to apply the skills that I had learned in my grant writing class, and it also allowed me to really take a step back and look at the evaluation that had gone on in Sprint for Cancer for the previous decade. I learned very quickly that measurement of results year over year was missing from the race, and that at the end of each race, the volunteers would simply be happy that they had a successful event, but really didn't challenge themselves to measure it against past years or to really look at lessons learned in terms of how to improve. So in applying for the grant, I really had to put an evaluation structure in place, not only to evaluate the results of the 2012 race in order to justify our need for the grant with the foundation, but also to assure the foundation that in future years we would measure results and report them back to the foundation. I'm happy to report that in doing so, we not only received funding for the 2013 race, but the NCR Foundation went ahead and gave us funding for the next 3 years. So between 2013 and 2015, we will receive $50,000 each year, contingent upon us putting the results evaluation process in place. My third objective was to integrate Sprint for Cancer into the NCR culture. As I mentioned, this was a race developed by Radiant Systems, who they acquired in 2011. Radiant Systems had 1,500 employees. NCR has 23,000 employees. So we have a huge opportunity to get more employee support and more donations and just a bigger focus on Sprint for Cancer. By coincidence, both Radiant Systems and NCR are based in Atlanta, Georgia, and so we're really able to tap into all of those employees in the headquarters to support the race. I formed a leadership team where I put an open call out to all of the leaders, the directors and vice presidents of NCR, and shared the Sprint for Cancer story and appealed to them to help us support the cause and to help integrate it into the culture. The response was fantastic. I was hoping for one leader to be assigned to each building where NCR employees are housed, and I got 2 to 3 leaders committed for each building. We had a kickoff meeting a couple of weeks ago. They're very enthusiastic, not only about promoting the race with employees, but also about fundraising and getting more sponsors involved in the race. And our next step is to recruit additional teams to help them out in spreading the word about Sprint for Cancer. That will be a goal that we'll focus on in 2013. My fourth objective was to create a worksite wellness and community service participation program in order to not only get more NCR employees engaged, but also get community members engaged. So I drafted a worksite wellness program based on the Couch to 5K training plans, getting employees to safely and easily be able to walk or run a 5K for the first time in 8 to 12 weeks. I pitched that to the wellness committee at NCR, and they embraced it and said that they would sponsor the worksite wellness training plan in January. We can also use this as a model when we're working with external companies. I also realized that some companies that participate in races don't do so under a worksite wellness umbrella, but do so under a community service umbrella instead, and it just so happened that NCR also had a community service team. I talked to them and convinced them to have Sprint for Cancer be their second quarter 2013 event that they'll focus on. The race is in April of next year, and so they will have that be their project and be able to promote the race not only within their team but externally. And again, we can use that model when we're working with other community members and local businesses. My fifth objective actually relates to my internship last summer. I spread my internship over 2 semesters, and so that was finalizing a global analysis of 6 countries where NCR has some of the biggest health needs. NCR actually has offices in over 70 countries around the world, and so in my global analysis project, I focused on Brazil, India, Japan, Malaysia, the United Arab Emirates, and the United Kingdom, and I basically compiled data on the health demographics of the employees, the biggest health risks and issues, and their access to health care. I was able to compile this all into a binder for the wellness team, and then they plan to look at that next year and make decisions and determinations on health benefits when the renewal period begins. In summary, my internship helped me in 3 primary areas. The first one being understanding the importance of developing plans for evaluation and research. As I mentioned with the grant application, I got so much more of an education there than I had anticipated, because I realized that an evaluation process was not in place for the Sprint for Cancer race. I was able to draft one up and put it in place and get approval for it to be used moving forward. My participation on the Sprint for Cancer committee also enabled me to administer and manage health education by adding a strategic leadership team to drive the direction of the race. Now, everybody who works on Sprint for Cancer does so on a voluntary basis, but by having leaders committed to the race, we not only get to tap into their experience and knowledge, but we have much more structure in the race.